The orders came early one morning, 3 weeks after the successful mixed species simulation. Maya was in the cafeteria eating breakfast with her team when her communication badge chirped urgently. The entire team's badges activated simultaneously. All members of Unit 7 report to Commandant Vexthor's office immediately. They looked at each other. Unit 7 was their official designation now. 3 humans, 2 Vrexians, 1 Quilarian, and 1 Pelon. The first officially integrated mixed-species combat unit in Academy history. "This is it," Kyle said quietly. "Real orders." They arrived at the Commandant's office to find not just Vexthor waiting, but also Commander Soral and several other high-ranking officers. The atmosphere was serious, almost grim. Unit 7. "At attention," Vexthor ordered. They snapped to attention as one, their training evident in the synchronized movement. At ease. Vexthor activated a holographic display showing a distant space station. 3 days ago, Station Outpost Meridian stopped responding to communications. Meridian is a small research station in the Outer Rim, staffed by 15 scientists and a small security team. Initial scans show the station is intact, life support is functioning, but there is no response to any hails. Commander Soral stepped forward. This could be a simple communications failure. It could also be something more serious. Pirates have been active in that sector. There is also a possibility of a disease outbreak or accident. We need a team to investigate, assess the situation, and provide assistance if needed. "You are sending us?" Lisa asked, her voice steady, but Maya could hear the tension underneath. "You are the most advanced mixed-species unit we have trained," Vexthor said. "This mission is rated as moderate risk. Perfect for a first real deployment. You will take a small transport, approach Meridian, investigate, and report back. If the situation requires military intervention beyond your capabilities, you will retreat and call for support." He looked at each of them individually. "This is not a simulation. There will be no reset button if something goes wrong. If you encounter hostiles, the weapons will be real. If someone gets injured, the consequences will be real. Do you understand?" "Yes, sir," they answered in unison. "Collins, you are designated team leader for this mission." Maya felt her heart skip. "Sir, you have proven yourself over the past months. You understand tactics, you work well with all species, and you know when to push forward and when to call for backup. That last quality is particularly important." Vexthor's mandibles clicked seriously. "Do not be the cadet who tore a door off. Be the officer who made the right call for her team." "I understand, sir." "Good. Your transport leaves in 2 hours. Dismissed." They hurried back to their quarters to gather gear and supplies. Maya's hands shook slightly as she packed. This was real. Not a training exercise. Not a simulation. A real mission with real stakes. Lyra noticed her trembling hands. "You are nervous." "Terrified," Maya admitted. "What if I make the wrong call? What if someone gets hurt because of my decisions? Then you will adapt and make a better call next time. That is what you do, Maya. You learn and grow." Lyra's empathic sense reached out, calm and reassuring. "We trust you. All of us do." The transport ship was small but functional. Ben piloted while the rest of them reviewed the mission briefing. Kess analyzed all available data about Meridian Station. Tarek and Voss checked weapons and equipment. Kyle and Lisa went over tactical scenarios. The journey to Outpost Meridian took 18 hours. Maya spent most of that time reviewing everything she had learned. Tactics, first aid, conflict resolution, diplomacy. She had trained for months, but this was different. The weight of actual responsibility pressed down on her shoulders. "We are approaching Meridian," Ben announced from the pilot seat. "Station is visible on scanners. No signs of damage to the exterior." Maya moved to look at the view screen. Meridian Station was a small facility. Just 3 connected modules orbiting a barren moon. Lights were on. Life support appeared functional, but something felt wrong. Kess detailed scan. The Quilarian's crystalline form pulsed rapidly. Life signs detected. 15 individuals matching the expected crew complement, all showing elevated stress indicators. No signs of hostile forces. No evidence of disease or environmental hazards. Why are they not responding to communications then? Kyle wondered. Only one way to find out. Maya made the decision. Ben, bring us in for docking. Everyone else sees standard boarding protocol. Weapons ready but not aggressive. We are here to help, not to fight. The transport docked with Meridian's main airlock smoothly. The team assembled at the airlock door, suited up and ready. Maya took point, her weapon held low but accessible. Behind her, the team formed up in the patterns they had practiced hundreds of times. The airlock opened without incident. The station's interior lights were functioning, but something was definitely wrong. The corridors were empty. No one came to greet them. Maya could hear ventilation systems running, equipment humming, but no voices. No movement. "This is Cadet Maya Collins of the Galactic Defense Academy," she announced clearly. "We are responding to your communications blackout. If anyone can hear this, please respond. We are here to help." Silence. "Lyra, what do you sense?" The Palin closed her eyes, extending her empathic awareness. Fear, strong fear. But not panic. They are hiding from something, not fleeing. Hiding from what? Tarek growled, his massive form tense. "I cannot tell. The emotions are too muddled." They advanced slowly through the station. Maya's training kicked in, her mind processing everything. Empty corridors. Functioning systems. Crew alive but hiding. No signs of combat or damage. What could cause this behavior? They reached the main research lab. The door was sealed shut, but Maya could see through the window. All 15 crew members were inside, huddled together in the far corner. They looked terrified. Maya approached the door carefully. "This is the Galactic Defense Academy. We are here to help. Can you tell us what is wrong?" A scientist near the door, a Quellan female, looked up with wide, frightened eyes. She pointed behind Maya's team. Maya turned slowly. At first she saw nothing. Then movement caught her eye. In the shadowy corner of the corridor, something shifted. Something that definitely was not supposed to be there. It emerged into the light gradually, a creature about 4 feet long, with 6 legs and a crystalline carapace that reflected the corridor lights. It looked like some kind of insect, but much larger than any insect Maya had ever seen. Its mandibles clicked softly. "Kess, identification?" Maya asked quietly, not moving. "Analyzing. Species match crystal mantis. Native to the nearby moon. Highly territorial, but not typically aggressive unless threatened. However, this specimen is significantly larger than normal." The creature took a step toward them. Its mandibles clicked louder. "Do not move," Kess warned. Crystal mantises respond to rapid movement with defensive aggression. The team froze. Maya's mind raced. The crew was trapped in the lab. This creature was blocking the corridor. It was scared, not attacking. How did she resolve this without violence? "Lyra, can you sense its emotions?" "Fear and confusion. It is lost. It wandered into the station somehow and cannot find its way out. So it is not attacking. It is just scared and territorial." Maya thought fast. "We need to guide it back outside without threatening it." "How do we do that?" Kyle asked through clenched teeth. Maya remembered something from her xenobiology classes. Crystal mantises are attracted to certain light frequencies. "Kess, can you generate a light pattern that will attract its attention?" "Yes, the creatures follow blue spectrum pulsing light instinctively." "Good. Generate that pattern and move slowly back toward the airlock. Lead it away from the lab and toward the exit. Everyone else, stay absolutely still. Do not make any sudden moves." Kess's crystalline body began pulsing with blue light. The creature's attention shifted immediately. Its head tilted, following the light. Kess moved backward slowly, maintaining the pulsing pattern. The crystal mantis followed, its 6 legs clicking softly on the metal floor. It moved past the team, completely focused on the light. Maya barely breathed as the creature passed within 3 feet of her position. Kess led it down the corridor through the main passages toward the airlock. The team followed at a safe distance, weapons ready but not aimed. Maya's heart pounded, but her hand stayed steady. At the airlock, Kess continued pulsing the blue light while moving into the docking tube. The creature followed her right to the edge of the station. Ben, who had stayed with the transport, had the airlock to open space ready. The moment the creature stepped into the tube, Ben activated the external airlock. It opened into space, but not before deploying a small force field that gently pushed the crystal mantis out toward the nearby moon. The creature's carapace would protect it in the vacuum long enough to reach its home. The whole team exhaled in relief. That was probably the gentlest hostile extraction in Academy history, Kyle said with a shaky laugh. Maya opened communications with the research lab. "The creature has been removed. You are safe now." The lab door opened and the crew rushed out, all of them talking at once, thanking them profusely. The lead scientist, an elderly Serix named Dr. Valen, explained that the creature had somehow entered through a damaged external panel during a meteor shower. It had wandered into the station 3 days ago, and the training room was cold and dark. Maya Collins stood in the center, breathing hard. Her fingers gripped the training weapon tight. Sweat dripped down her face. She knew this was supposed to be impossible. Every other cadet who walked into this room had failed. They all gave up and called for help within minutes. Maya was different. She had been in here for 12 minutes already. The first shot hit her chest. Pain exploded through her body. The training rounds were supposed to hurt just enough to teach a lesson. For most alien species at the academy, one hit meant they stopped fighting. The pain was too much. Their bodies forced them to quit. Maya stumbled backward. Her vision blurred for a second. Then she shook her head and raised her weapon again. She fired at the automated turret that had shot her. The turret sparked and went dark. In the observation room above, Instructor Kelthvar watched his screen with confusion on his reptilian face. He was of Rexian, tall and covered in thick scales. He had trained thousands of cadets from dozens of different species. None of them had ever acted like this human girl. Her vital signs? He asked his assistant. Vess was a Quellan, looking like a giant moth with compound eyes. She checked her instruments carefully. Her heart is beating fast. Her body is making lots of stress chemicals. But she should be fine. For a human, this is normal when scared. She should have collapsed by now, Kelthavar said. His voice was a low hiss. The pain from that shot should have sent her into shock. Maybe humans feel pain differently, Vess suggested. On the screen, Maya ducked behind a metal barrier. Another burst of training fire hit the wall above her head. Blood from her wound stained her uniform. Her face was pale, but her eyes burned with determination. She looked angry. She looked stubborn. She did not look like someone ready to give up. Is she going to retreat? Vess asked. No, Kelthavar said slowly. I think she is moving forward. The other cadets in the observation deck had stopped talking. They all pressed against the windows to watch. There were students from many different worlds here. A Quillarian cadet, her body made of living crystal, turned to her friend. Is she broken? Do humans have a way to turn off? Maya's hand shot out from behind cover. She fired 3 quick shots. 3 more turrets exploded. She rolled forward, ignoring the pain in her chest. She kept moving toward her goal. Then the second shot hit her, right in the shoulder. Maya cried out and fell to one knee. For a moment, everyone thought she would finally quit. She did not quit. She switched her weapon to her other hand and kept firing. By the ancestors, Kelthavar whispered. What is she made of? The third shot hit her in the leg. Maya went down hard. She lay on the floor, breathing in gasps. The weapon fell from her hand. Every species in the observation room thought it was finally over. Maya pushed herself up on her hands, then onto her knees. Then somehow she stood up. She picked up her weapon. She started walking again, limping badly but still moving forward. End the simulation, Kelthavar ordered. His voice was sharp with worry. End it now. Vess's delicate fingers moved over the controls. Nothing happened. The system is not responding, sir. What do you mean? The door locked when the simulation started. It is a safety feature. The simulation must finish completely or the cadet must surrender. Vess looked up at him with wide eyes. She has to give up or she has to complete the mission. They both looked at the screen again. Maya had reached the central computer terminal. This was the objective. In the scenario, this computer held important information. Protocol said she should download the data and call for rescue. Instead, Maya downloaded the data, put the chip in her pocket, and turned back toward the entrance. She is fighting her way back out, Kelthavar said. He could not believe what he was seeing. What happened next would become a legend at the academy. Maya fought through 12 more automated defenders. When her weapon ran out of power, she used it as a club. She swung it like a bat, smashing turrets and sensors. When the weapon broke apart in her hands, she used her fists. She punched the machines until they stopped working. By the time she reached the exit door, she could barely stand. Blood covered her uniform. Her breathing came in harsh gasps. The door stayed sealed shut. Maya pounded on the door with her fist. Once, twice. The door did not open. Then she did something that nobody expected. She pushed her fingers into the tiny gap where the 2 door panels met. She gripped the edge of the door with both hands. She cannot be serious, Vess whispered. Every cadet in the observation deck pressed closer to the windows. They could not look away. The Quillarian's crystal body went completely dark, which meant she was in shock. Maya's muscles tensed. Her whole body shook with effort. Her face turned red. The veins in her neck stood out. She pulled. The door groaned. Metal creaked. The door was designed to survive explosions. It was built to withstand enemy weapons. Nothing should have been able to damage it. But Maya Collins was not nothing. She was human. She was from Earth. And Earth was a death world that made its children strong. The hinges started to bend. The metal screamed. Sparks flew from the door frame. Impossible, Kelthavar said, but he was watching it happen right in front of him. With one final yell of effort, Maya ripped the training facility door completely off its track. The massive door crashed to the floor with a sound like thunder. The noise echoed through the entire station. Maya stepped through the opening. She still held the data chip in one bloody hand. The destroyed door lay behind her like a slain dragon. She looked up at the observation window. Her eyes met Instructor Kelthavar's eyes. Then her legs gave out. She collapsed to the floor and did not move. Alarms started blaring. The medical team rushed in with an emergency stretcher. They surrounded Maya quickly, checking her vital signs and injuries. Within seconds, they had her on the stretcher and were running toward the medical bay. Kelthavar stood frozen in the observation room. In 23 years of teaching, he had never seen anything like this. The other instructors were talking rapidly, all of them shocked. The cadets were shouting and pointing. He looked at the broken door lying on the floor. Then he looked at the data from Maya's simulation. She had completed the mission. The mission that was designed to be impossible. The mission that was supposed to teach cadets when to retreat and ask for help. Maya Collins had not retreated. She had not asked for help. She had simply refused to fail. What have the humans sent us? Kelthavar asked quietly. Vess had no answer. Nobody did. The humans were new to the galactic community. Earth had only made contact with alien species a few years ago. The Academy had accepted 6 human cadets as an experiment. Now Kelthavar wondered if that experiment was going to change everything they knew about training soldiers. In the medical bay, doctors and nurses swarmed around Maya. The chief medical officer was a Tenarian named Hollis. He had 6 arms and a calm personality. Right now, he was not calm. 3 training rounds, all center mass, he reported to his staff. Broken ribs, severe bruising, muscle damage, and complete exhaustion. He looked at his medical scanner and his facial tendrils twitched in confusion. But no organ failure. No brain damage. How is this possible? Maya's eyes opened slowly. Did I pass? She asked. Her voice was rough and quiet. Hollis's tendrils went stiff with surprise. Cadet Collins, you need to stay still. You are badly hurt. Did I pass? Maya asked again. From the doorway, Instructor Kelthavar entered. His scales rippled with an emotion that might have been respect or fear. Maybe both. The simulation was meant to teach you when to quit, Cadet Collins. You were not supposed to finish it. You never said it was impossible, sir, Maya said. She winced as Hollis put medicine on her ribs. You just said nobody had ever done it before. And you destroyed a security door. That door was built to survive military attacks. It was in my way, sir. Outside the medical bay, every cadet on the station was trying to see the human who had done the impossible. They whispered to each other in many different languages. Some looked amazed. Others looked scared. Kelthavar stared at Maya Collins. She was small by galactic standards. She looked fragile. Her planet Earth was classified as a Class 12 death world. That meant it was so dangerous that most alien species would die there within days. Humans had not just survived on Earth, they had conquered it. Now he was beginning to understand what that really meant. You are either the bravest cadet I have ever trained, Kelthavar said slowly, or the most foolish. Maya managed a weak smile. My dad always said I was both, sir. Maya woke up the next morning and wished she had not. Every part of her body hurt. Her chest ached where the training rounds had hit her. Her shoulder throbbed. Her leg felt like someone had beaten it with a hammer. The medicine from Dr. Hollis had helped her heal faster, but humans apparently processed alien medicine differently than expected. She could move, but everything hurt. She sat up slowly in her bunk. Outside her door, she could hear voices. Lots of voices. Maya looked at her roommate, Lyra, who was sitting on her own bed with a worried expression. Lyra was a Palin. Her skin was translucent blue and seemed to glow slightly in the dim light. They have been out there since dawn, Lyra said quietly. Everyone wants to talk to you. Everyone wants to know how you did it. Maya groaned and threw back her blanket. I just need to get to the bathroom. I have been telling them to go away. That you need rest. Lyra's skin flickered with embarrassment. But they keep coming back. When Maya opened the door, she found at least 30 cadets in the hallway. They were from many different species. They all stared at her. Some looked amazed. Some looked scared. A few looked at her like she was some kind of monster. "Excuse me," Maya said. "I need to get through." The crowd parted slowly. Nobody spoke. They just watched her walk down the hallway toward the communal washroom. Maya could feel their eyes on her back. She heard whispers in languages her translator did not catch. But she heard one phrase clearly. A Vrexian cadet in the back said it in his own language. But her earpiece translated it perfectly. The Deathworlder walks. In the washroom, Maya stood under the sonic shower and let the vibrations clean her skin. She looked at herself in the mirror. Bruises covered her torso. Her shoulder was purple and yellow, but she was alive. She had survived. She had also apparently become famous, or infamous. She was not sure which yet. When she came out dressed in a fresh uniform, Lyra was waiting with a nutrition pack. "Dr. Hollis said you must eat. Your body needs fuel to finish healing." Maya took the pack even though she hated the taste. Galactic Standard Nutrition paste tasted like cardboard mixed with chemicals. She missed real food from Earth. She missed her mom's cooking. She missed pizza and burgers and anything that had actual flavor. "The Commandant wants to see you," Lyra said. Her voice was soft, almost apologetic. Right away, Maya's stomach dropped. That could not be good news. The walk to Commandant Vexthor's office felt like it took forever. Other cadets stopped their conversations when she passed. Some nodded at her with respect. Others just stared. Maya kept her back straight and her head up. Her father had taught her to never show weakness. Lieutenant Commander Daniel Collins had raised her to be strong, to never back down, to never apologize for doing her best. Right now, she wondered if maybe he had pushed her too hard. The Commandant's office was cold and unwelcoming. Commandant Vexthor was a Krillian, which meant he looked like a giant insect. He had 4 arms and eyes that seemed to look in multiple directions at once. He sat behind his desk as Maya entered and stood at attention. "Cadet Collins reporting as ordered, sir." "At ease, Cadet." Vexthor pointed at a chair with one of his 4 arms. "Sit down. We need to talk about yesterday." Maya sat down but kept her posture stiff. "Yes, sir." "In 30 years at this academy, I have never had a cadet destroy station property during a training exercise." He paused. His mandibles clicked slowly. "I have also never had a cadet complete the Korvath scenario." "I did not know it had a name, sir. It is named after a famous battle. Admiral Solness chose to retreat when faced with impossible odds. He saved 3,000 lives by knowing when to run away." Vexthor pulled up a screen showing her simulation. "The exercise is designed to teach that same lesson. Every good officer must know when to fight and when to withdraw." Maya felt sick. "I failed to learn the lesson." "Actually, Cadet, you taught me something." Vexthor showed her the vital signs from her simulation. 17 different species have tried this scenario over the past 5 years. All of them retreated within acceptable time limits. They all wrote reports explaining their logical reasoning. They cited insufficient weapons, lack of support, bad tactical position. He zoomed in on Maya's heart rate during the simulation. "Your report will be very different. You saw the same tactical situation. You understood the odds were against you, but something in your biology, your psychology, your very nature refused to accept those odds as a reason to quit." "Sir, I do not understand. Am I being praised or punished?" "Neither. Both." Vexthor's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. "You are being studied, Cadet Collins. Humanity is new to the galactic community. We have only had a few human cadets and none like you. The faculty needs to understand what we are working with. I am not a science experiment, sir. No, you are a cadet at the most important military academy in the galaxy, and yesterday you showed abilities that challenge everything we think we know about training." He closed the hologram. "Dr. Hollis wants to do a complete physical exam. Instructor Kelthvar wants to evaluate your mental state. And the station safety board wants to know if you are dangerous." Maya's jaw tightened. "Are you kicking me out of the academy?" "That depends on what the tests show." Vexthor's tone became slightly softer. "Cadet Collins, let me explain something. The galaxy is a dangerous place. We keep peace through cooperation, diplomacy, and when needed, military strength. But our military ideas are built on centuries of experience with hundreds of species. What you did yesterday does not fit into anything we know. I just did not quit. Sir? No. You showed a level of pain tolerance, physical strength, and determination that most species cannot understand. He leaned forward. Earth is classified as a Class 12 death world. Do you know what that means? High gravity, dangerous animals, extreme weather. Maya recited from memory. It means your planet would kill 90% of galactic species within days. Your ancestors did not just survive there. They dominated it. They climbed to the top of the food chain through stubbornness and the ability to adapt. Vexthor's eyes seemed to look right through her. The question now is whether that makes you an asset or a danger to the Galactic Defense Force. Maya met his gaze without flinching. I came here to serve, sir. To prove that humanity belongs among the stars. If I cause problems, I apologize. But I will not apologize for doing my best. That attitude is exactly what worries some of my colleagues. Vexthor stood up, which meant the meeting was ending. Report to Medical Bay Alpha at 0900 hours for your physical exam. Instructor Kelthavar will see you at 1400 hours. Until the board makes a decision, you are restricted to basic duties only. No simulations, no field training, no combat exercises. Yes, sir. Maya stood and saluted. As she turned to leave, Vexthor spoke again. Cadet Collins? For what it is worth, I hope you stay with us. The galaxy needs officers who do not know when to quit. We just need to figure out how to train you, without you tearing apart the station in the process. Maya walked back to her quarters in a daze. She had not been kicked out, but she had not been cleared either. She was in some kind of limbo, waiting for tests and evaluations to decide her future. When she got back to her room, Lyra was there with another human cadet. His name was Kyle Hayes. He was tall with dark hair and an easy smile. Maya had met him during orientation, but they had not talked much. Heard you had a rough meeting with the Commandant, Kyle said. Thought you might want some company from a fellow human. Thanks, Maya said. She sat down on her bunk with a heavy sigh. Look, I do not know you very well, Kyle continued, but I wanted to say something. Do not let them make you feel like you did something wrong. You did what humans do. You survived. You pushed through. You got the job done. That is not a flaw. That is who we are. Tell that to the safety board, Maya muttered. They are scared, Lyra said quietly. Both humans looked at her. I can sense emotions. It is a Palon ability. When the faculty talks about you, they feel scared. Not of you exactly, but of what you represent. You are something new, something they do not understand. Change is frightening, Kyle nodded. Earth is still new to the galactic community. They invited us to join, but now they are realizing we are not like the other species. We are tougher, more stubborn. We do not quit even when we probably should. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Maya asked. Both, Kyle said with a grin, but mostly good. The galaxy has been at peace for a long time. Maybe they have forgotten what it takes to survive. We can remind them. After Kyle left, Maya lay on her bunk and stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow she would face more tests and evaluations. People would poke her and scan her and ask her questions about why she did not quit when she should have. But tonight she let herself feel proud. She had completed a mission that nobody else had ever finished. She had pushed through pain and exhaustion and impossible odds. She was Maya Collins from Earth, and she had proven that humans belonged here. The medical exam took 4 hours. Maya felt like she had been poked, prodded, scanned, and analyzed from every possible angle. Dr. Hollis worked with focused intensity, his 6 Tenarian arms operating multiple diagnostic tools at the same time. His facial tendrils twitched constantly as he studied the data. Fascinating, he said for what must have been the 100th time. Absolutely fascinating. Maya sat on the examination table in a thin medical gown. She tried not to feel like a lab specimen. Want to share what you are finding, Doctor? Hollis looked up from his datapad. His tendrils curled, and what she had learned was his version of a smile. My apologies, Cadet. I sometimes forget you cannot see what I am seeing. He turned the pad to show her a complex image of her muscles. Your physical structure is remarkable. Look at these muscle fibers. Look at this bone density. Your cardiovascular system has backup systems for the backup systems. Earth did not just make survivors. It made biological tanks. I am 5'6" and weigh 140 pounds, Maya said. That does not sound like a tank. By human standards, perhaps average. But consider this. He pulled up another image showing a Vrexian male. The average Vrexian stands 7 feet tall and weighs 300 pounds. Yet based on these readings, you could match one in a physical contest. Your bones are 40% denser than any other cadet species on this station. He showed her another chart full of numbers and graphs. And this is your pain response system. You have something called adrenaline, correct? Yes, it is an emergency hormone. Makes us stronger, blocks pain, helps us focus. We have similar things across species, but nothing like what humans produce. During your simulation, your adrenaline reached levels that would be toxic to most carbon-based life forms. For you, it was just uncomfortable. His tendrils waved with excitement. Your body makes its own combat drug on demand. Maya shifted on the table. Is this going to be a problem, Doctor? A problem? No, a challenge for medical treatment? Definitely. Hollis set down his pad and looked at her seriously. Cadet Collins, I am required to clear you as physically fit for duty. From a medical view, you are in excellent health. But I also have to note in your file that standard treatments might not work on humans, especially in combat. What do you mean? I mean that if you get injured in the field, normal sedatives might not work fast enough. Managing your pain will be difficult. And if you go into that adrenaline state, you might push yourself past safe limits without realizing it. His tone became very serious. You could literally fight yourself to death before your body acknowledged the damage. Maya sat quietly, absorbing this information. Her father had told her stories about soldiers in Earth's history who had done exactly that. Men and women who had fought through mortal wounds on pure adrenaline and willpower. She had always thought those were exaggerations. I understand, Doctor. I will be careful. Please do. I would hate to lose my most interesting patient. Hollis handed her a small data chip. These are my findings. Instructor Kelthvar will want to review them before your session this afternoon. Maya got dressed and left the medical bay. She had a few hours before her appointment with Kelthvar. She decided to walk through the station and clear her head. She passed through one of the observation decks where huge windows showed the vast darkness of space. Stars stretched out in every direction. Somewhere out there, 30,000 light-years away, was Earth. Home. A tiny blue planet that the rest of the galaxy considered barely livable. Too hot, too cold, too dangerous. The gravity was too high. The weather was too extreme. The animals were too aggressive, but humans had not just survived there. They had thrived. They had built cities and civilizations. They had created art and music and literature. They had reached for the stars. And now Maya understood why the aliens had been so surprised when humans finally developed faster-than-light travel and announced themselves to the galaxy. The aliens had expected to find other species like themselves, from gentle worlds with stable climates and low gravity. Instead, they found humans. Tough, stubborn, resilient humans who refused to accept that anything was impossible. Deep thoughts? A voice said behind her. Maya turned to see Kyle walking toward her. He had a friendly smile on his face. Just thinking about home, Maya said. Missing Earth? A little. Mostly just thinking about how different we are from everyone else here. She gestured at the stars. We are the weird ones, Kyle. Did you know that? Kyle laughed and leaned against the window railing. Yeah, I figured that out pretty quick. Most of the species here are from what they call garden worlds. Peaceful places where nothing really tries to kill you. Earth is classified as a death world. We are literally from the most dangerous category of inhabited planet. Does that ever bother you? Sometimes. But mostly it makes me proud. He looked at her seriously. Maya, you did something amazing yesterday. You completed a scenario that was designed to be impossible. Yeah, you scared some people. But you also showed them what humans are capable of. That matters. Maya thought about the broken door, about the pain, about refusing to quit. I just did not want to fail. Exactly. That is what makes us different. Most species here have forgotten what it means to fight for survival. They have had peace and comfort for so long that they do not understand what drives us. But the galaxy is not always going to be peaceful. When things get hard, they are going to need people like you, people who do not know how to give up. After Kyle left, Maya made her way to Instructor Kelthavar's office. The Vrexian was waiting for her. His office was dim, the way his species preferred. He pointed to a chair that had been adjusted for human size. Cadet Collins, please sit. She sat, noticing the data pad on his desk. Probably Dr. Hollis's report. I have reviewed your medical assessment, Kelthavar began. His reptilian face was hard to read. Dr. Hollis thinks you are a physical marvel. I am more interested in what is happening in your mind. He tapped the side of his head with one clawed finger. Sir, if this is about whether I am mentally stable, this is not a standard fitness evaluation. Cadet, not exactly. Kelthavar leaned back in his chair. I have been an instructor for 23 years. I have trained warriors from species with natural weapons, with venom, with telepathic powers. I have seen cadets who could tear through steel, and others who could survive in space without protection. But you know what I never saw until yesterday, sir? Someone who simply refused to accept reality. He pulled up the simulation video on his wall screen. Watch this moment. You have been hit twice. Your weapon is almost empty. You are surrounded. Any rational fighter would call for rescue. On the screen, Maya could see herself bleeding and exhausted, checking her weapon and then moving forward anyway. What were you thinking in this moment, Cadet? Maya watched her past self and tried to remember. I was thinking that I had come too far to quit, that people were counting on me, even if it was just a simulation, that my dad always said a Collins never retreats unless there is absolutely no other choice. And there was no other choice? I still had ammunition. I could still move. I had not tried everything yet. She looked at him. Sir, would it have been better to quit while I could still fight? Kelthavar was quiet for a long time. Most species have a survival instinct that overrides other considerations. When the threat reaches a certain level, the body takes over and forces the individual to escape. It is an evolutionary advantage. You survive to fight another day. Humans have that too, Maya said. Yes, but you have something else, something that can override even survival instinct. He zoomed in on her face in the recording, on the determination in her eyes. You have what I can only call stubbornness, an absolute refusal to accept defeat. Is that a bad thing? That depends. In the wrong situation, it could get you killed. In the right situation, it could save lives. Kelthavar turned off the screen. The question is whether we can teach you to recognize the difference. I want to learn, sir. I do not want to be reckless. I want to be a good officer. I believe you. But good intentions are not enough. He pulled out a blank report form. I am going to recommend that you continue your training here, but under modified protocols. You will have additional instruction on tactical decision-making. You will learn when pushing forward is brave and when it is foolish. You will train with mixed species units so you understand how your abilities fit with others. Maya felt relief wash through her. Thank you, sir. Do not thank me yet. This will be harder than standard training. You will be under constant scrutiny. Every decision you make will be analyzed. You will essentially be helping us create a new training program for human cadets. He looked at her seriously. Are you prepared for that responsibility? Yes, sir. I am. Good, because humanity is counting on you, Cadet Collins. How we train you will determine how we train every human who comes after you. You are not just fighting for yourself. You are fighting for your entire species' place in the Galactic Defense Force. The weight of those words settled on Maya's shoulders. She had thought she was just trying to pass a simulation. She had not realized she was representing all of humanity. But maybe that was okay. Maybe that was what she had trained for her whole life, to show the galaxy what humans could do, to prove they belonged among the stars. 3 days passed while the faculty board met to discuss Maya's future. During those 3 days, she attended her regular classes, studied in the library, and tried to ignore the whispers that followed her everywhere. Some cadets treated her like a hero. Others avoided her like she might explode at any moment. On the third evening, Maya sat in her quarters looking at a holographic photo of her family. Her father stood tall in his military uniform, proud and strong. Her mother smiled warmly, worry hidden behind her eyes. Her little brother Jake made a silly face at the camera. She missed them terribly. You are worried, Lyra said softly from her bunk. Wouldn't you be? My entire career might end before it really starts. Lyra's translucent blue skin glowed softly in the dim light. You did what you thought was right. What you were trained to do. On my world, we have a saying. The strongest tree bends in the wind, but the strongest root holds firm. I think humans are more like roots than trees. Maya managed a small smile. Thanks, Lyra, that actually helps. I mean it. I have watched you these past weeks. You work harder than anyone. You never complain. You treat everyone with kindness, even the cadets who are afraid of you. Earth may be a death world, but it produced someone I am honored to call my friend. Before Maya could respond, her communication badge beeped. Cadet Collins, report to Commandant Vexthor's office immediately. This was it. The moment of truth. Maya walked through the station corridors with her back straight and her head high. Whatever happened, she would accept it with dignity. If they expelled her, she would go home to Earth and find another way to serve. If they let her stay, she would work twice as hard to prove she deserved the chance. When she entered the Commandant's office, she found more than just Vexthor waiting. Dr. Hollis was there, his 6 arms folded neatly. Instructor Kelthvar stood by the window, his scales reflecting the starlight. 2 other faculty members were present too. Professor Quinn, an elderly Quellan who taught tactical theory, and Commander Soral, the station's military liaison. Cadet Collins. At attention, Vexthor ordered. Maya snapped to attention, eyes forward, body rigid. We have spent the past 72 hours reviewing your case. We examined the medical reports, the psychological evaluations, and we debated what your actions mean for this academy and the Galactic Defense Force. Vexthor's mandibles clicked slowly. The board was not unanimous in its decision. Maya's heart pounded, but she kept her face blank. Professor Quinn argued that your actions showed a fundamental misunderstanding of tactical doctrine. She believes you pose a risk to yourself and any future unit you might serve with. Vexthor gestured to the elderly professor, who nodded with a stern expression. Commander Soral acknowledged your performance showed initiative and combat ability that could be valuable, but he believes you need significant refinement and oversight. Maya waited, barely breathing. Dr. Hollis and Instructor Kelthavar, however, presented a different view. Doctor, would you explain? Hollis stepped forward, his tendrils swaying gently. Cadet Collins, I told you that your species is biologically remarkable. What I did not tell you is that I have been studying Earth's history since humanity joined the galactic community. Your planet has been at war with itself for most of its recorded existence. Your species has faced extinction events, ice ages, plagues, and countless conflicts. And yet you have not only survived, you have prospered. He activated a holographic display showing Earth's timeline. The galaxy needs peacekeepers, yes, but it also needs survivors. Humans have something most species lost through millennia of comfortable evolution. You have an absolute refusal to give up. That quality, properly guided, could make you among the finest officers in the Defense Force. Kelthavar spoke next. In my evaluation, I noted that you possess stubbornness. I have refined that assessment. You possess determination, loyalty, and tactical flexibility born from your species' ability to adapt. You identified an objective and achieved it using every resource available, including resources we did not know you possessed. The door, you mean? Maya said quietly. The door, yes, but also your ability to function through pain, to maintain focus under extreme stress, and to think creatively when conventional options failed. Kelthavar's scales rippled. Those are qualities we desperately need, Cadet Collins. Vexthor raised one of his forehands for silence. Which brings us to our decision. Cadet Collins, you are hereby placed on specialized training status. You will continue your education at this academy, but under modified protocols designed specifically for human cadets. Maya felt relief flood through her body, but she kept her military bearing. Sir, what does that mean exactly? Commander Soral stepped forward to explain. It means we are creating a new training track. You and the other human cadets will follow the standard curriculum, but with additional modules that account for your unique capabilities and limitations. We will adjust simulation parameters. We will revise safety protocols. And when you graduate, you and your fellow humans will be ready to serve alongside other species effectively. It also means, Vexthor continued, that you have become something of a test case. Cadet, how we train you will inform how we train every human who comes after you. That is a significant responsibility. I understand, sir. Do you? You will be under constant observation. Your performance will be documented and studied. You will be expected to not only meet our standards but help us establish new ones. His tone softened slightly. It will not be easy, Cadet Collins. Maya almost laughed. With respect, sir, I am from a Class 12 death world. Easy is not really something we understand. That earned actual laughter from the faculty members. Even Professor Quinn's stern expression cracked slightly. Very well, Cadet. You are dismissed. Report to Instructor Kelthavar tomorrow at 0800 hours to begin your new training program. And Cadet? Vexthor fixed her with his multifaceted gaze. Try not to destroy any more of my station. The repair costs are being charged to the human embassy. No promises, sir, but I will do my best. As Maya turned to leave, she heard Professor Quinn speak. Commandant, I still object to this decision. She is reckless and unpredictable. Vexthor's response was firm. She is human, Professor. I am beginning to think that recklessness and unpredictability are not flaws in their design. They are features that allowed humanity to survive on one of the most dangerous planets in the galaxy. We would be foolish to try to eliminate those traits. Instead, we must learn to work with them. Maya walked back to her quarters feeling lighter than she had in days. She had not been expelled. She was staying. More than that, she was helping create a path for other humans to follow. When she entered her room, she found not just Lyra waiting, but also Kyle and the other human cadets. Lisa Grant, a sharp-eyed woman with short blonde hair. Ben Cooper, tall and quiet. And the twins, Amy and Chris Walker, who finished each other's sentences, we heard. Kyle said with a huge grin, "You are staying." "We are all staying," Maya corrected. "They are creating new training protocols for all of us." "Because of what you did," Lisa said. "You proved that humans can compete here. That we belong. I just did not want to quit." "Exactly," Ben said in his deep, quiet voice. "That is what makes us human. We do not quit. We adapt, we overcome. That is our strength." The twins nodded in unison. "The galaxy is about to learn," Amy started. "What humans are really made of," Chris finished. They talked late into the night, sharing stories from Earth, discussing the new training program, and planning for their futures. For the first time since arriving at the academy, Maya felt like she truly belonged. Not because she had completed an impossible simulation or torn a door off its hinges, but because she was surrounded by people who understood her, people who shared her stubborn refusal to accept defeat. Later, after the others had left and Lyra had gone to sleep, Maya stood by the window looking out at the stars. She thought about her father's lessons about never giving up, about always doing your best. She had followed those lessons and nearly gotten expelled for it, but she had also proven something important. She had shown that humans could succeed in the galaxy, not by becoming like the other species, but by being exactly what they were. Survivors from a death world who had learned that the only way forward was to keep moving, no matter how hard the path became. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new tests, new opportunities to prove herself and her species. But tonight, Maya Collins allowed herself to feel proud. She was still here. She was still fighting. And she was not alone. Her communication badge beeped softly, a message from her father on Earth. The time delay meant it had been sent days ago, long before he could have heard about her simulation incident. "Hey kiddo, just wanted to check in. I know the academy is tough. I know you are probably facing challenges we cannot imagine. But remember what I always told you. A Collins never quits. We fight through the pain, we push past the obstacles, and we never ever give up. Whatever you are facing up there, I know you will handle it. Your mom and Jake send their love. We are all so proud of you. Stay strong, stay stubborn, and come home safe when you can." "Love, Dad." Maya smiled, tears stinging her eyes. Her father could not have known how perfectly timed his message was. How much she needed to hear those exact words right now. She composed a response. 6 months passed quickly at the academy. Maya stood in a completely redesigned simulation room, wearing new training armor that had been built specifically for human physiology. The armor was lighter but stronger, designed to protect without restricting movement. Around her, the other human cadets took their positions. Kyle gave her a thumbs up from across the room. Lisa checked her weapon with practiced efficiency. Ben stood calm and ready. The twins moved in perfect synchronization. But this exercise was different. This time, humans would not be training alone. "Listen up." Instructor Keltivar's voice came through their communication systems. "Today is the first full test of our revised training protocols. You will work as a mixed species unit. 3 humans, 2 Vrexians, 1 Quilarian, and 1 Palin. Your mission is to secure a hostile facility and extract a high-value target." Maya looked at her full team. Besides Kyle and Lisa, she had trained extensively with 2 Vrexian cadets over the past months. Tarek and Voss were both massive and strong, but they had learned to appreciate human determination. Kess was the Quilarian, her crystalline body able to process tactical data faster than any computer, and Lyra, her roommate and friend whose Palon empathic abilities helped keep the team coordinated. "One special rule for today," Kelthavar continued, and Maya could hear amusement in his voice. "Collins, you are not permitted to use doors as weapons." The entire team laughed. The story of the destroyed door had become legendary at the academy. but now it was told with pride instead of fear. The human cadets had embraced their reputation, and their alien teammates had learned what Deathworld tenacity really meant. Understood, sir, Maya replied with a grin. Good. Your mission starts now. The simulation activated. The room transformed into a detailed recreation of a hostile space station. Warning lights flashed. Alarms blared. Automated defense systems powered up. It looked and felt completely real. Maya immediately assessed the situation. Cass, I need a tactical overview. The Quillarian's crystalline form pulsed with light as she processed information. Multiple hostiles, 12 defensive turrets, 3 primary access routes. Recommend approach vector alpha for optimal coverage. Tarak Voss, take point. Your armor is heavier. Kyle and Lisa, flanking positions. Lyra, stay central and keep us coordinated. Let's move. The team advanced smoothly. The past 6 months had not just changed how humans trained. It had changed how all the species at the Academy understood each other. The Vrexians had learned that humans, though smaller, could take incredible punishment and keep fighting. The humans had learned that sometimes raw determination needed to be balanced with tactical thinking. They encountered the first wave of defenders quickly. Training drones emerged from alcoves, weapons firing. Tarak and Voss absorbed the hits with their heavy armor, creating a protective barrier. Kyle and Lisa moved to flanking positions and began picking off targets with precise shots. Maya moved forward with them, her weapon steady. A training round hit Maya in the shoulder. 6 months ago, the pain would have made her stumble. Now prepared and trained, she simply adjusted her stance and continued firing. The round hurt, but she had learned to work through pain without letting it control her. Target down, Lisa called. Moving to secondary position, Kyle added. Lyra's voice came through, calm and steady. Team cohesion strong. Emotional states balanced. Continue current approach. They pressed deeper into the facility. Maya found herself impressed by how smoothly they worked together. Each species brought different strengths. The Vrexians provided raw power and durability. The Quillarian offered rapid analysis and tactical planning. Lyra kept everyone emotionally centered and aware of each other's states. The humans provided adaptability and relentless drive. 20 minutes into the simulation, they encountered a problem. A massive blast door blocked their path to the objective. Kes scanned it quickly. Reinforced titanium composite, designed to withstand plasma weapons. Standard breaching protocols will take too long. We will be exposed to hostile fire. Maya stared at the door. 6 months ago, she would have tried to tear it open. She could feel that impulse rising in her chest, the stubborn refusal to let anything stop her. But she had learned something important during her training. Sometimes strength meant knowing when not to use brute force. Ideas? She asked the team. Ben, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. Maintenance access. These stations always have secondary routes for repairs. Kes, can you locate one? The Quillarian's form pulsed rapidly. Yes, adjacent corridor 40 meters back. It will add time but avoid direct confrontation with the blast door. Good thinking. Ben. Everyone, fall back and reposition. They moved as a unit, covering each other as they retreated to the maintenance access. It was a tight squeeze, especially for the large Vrexians, but they made it work. The route took them around the blast door and brought them out closer to the objective than expected. Excellent adaptation, Kelthavar's voice said through the comm. Maya could hear approval in his tone. They reached the central chamber where their target was located. A holographic representation of a captured officer awaited extraction. But surrounding it were the most advanced training drones the Academy had. 8 of them, armed with multiple weapon systems. This is going to be rough, Kyle muttered. Maya's mind raced through options. Direct assault would work but cost them injuries. Tactical retreat was not an option with the objective right in front of them. They needed a strategy that used everyone's strengths. Kes, how fast can you hack the defense grid? 30 seconds if uninterrupted. Tarak, Voss, you are shields. Get Kes to that terminal and protect her. Lyra, stay with them and keep everyone calm. Kyle, Lisa, Ben, we provide covering fire. Aggressive and loud. Make them focus on us. That's the tank strategy, Lisa said. You take the hits while others do the real work. Exactly. Humans are really good at taking hits. Maya checked her weapon. Let's show them how it's done. They executed the plan with precision. The 3 humans moved forward, weapons blazing. They drew fire from all 8 drones, moving constantly to avoid being overwhelmed. Training rounds hit Maya multiple times. Each impact hurt, but she had learned to compartmentalize pain, to acknowledge it without letting it stop her. Kyle took a hit to the leg and went down on one knee. He kept firing. Lisa's armor cracked under repeated shots, but she did not retreat. Ben, calm as always, maintained steady, suppressing fire. Behind them, protected by the two massive Rexians, Kess worked on the terminal. Her crystalline fingers moved with impossible speed. Lyra's empathic sense kept everyone focused and coordinated. 20 seconds, Kess called. A drone targeted her position. Tarek stepped directly into the line of fire, his heavy armor absorbing the blast. 10 seconds. More drones shifted focus. Maya charged forward, drawing their attention. A training round caught her square in the chest. The impact knocked her backward, but she rolled with it and came up firing. 5 seconds. Kyle and Lisa concentrated fire on the closest drones, disabling 2 of them. Ben's steady aim took out a third. Done. The remaining drones powered down simultaneously. The simulation froze. For a moment, the team just stood there, breathing hard, covered in simulated injuries but victorious. Then Kelthvar's voice came through the comm, and he sounded genuinely impressed. Mission complete. Time 34 minutes. Casualties 0. Injuries acceptable levels. Objective secured. That was exceptional work, all of you. The simulation room powered down, returning to its normal state. Maya's team gathered together, humans and aliens alike, all of them tired but proud. We did it, Lyra said softly, her blue skin glowing with happiness. Yeah, we did, Maya agreed. Because we worked together. Everyone played their part perfectly. Tarek, the larger of the 2 Vrexians, looked at Maya with something like respect. Colin, 6 months ago I thought you were insane. Now I understand. Humans do not give up, but you have learned to channel that quality into teamwork. That is wisdom. I had good teachers, Maya said. All of you taught me that being strong alone is not the same as being strong together. In the observation room, Commandant Vexthor watched alongside several high-ranking officials from Galactic Defense Force headquarters. One of them, a Serix general with elaborate scales, turned to him with an expression of deep thought. They made it work, the general said slowly. The humans integrated perfectly with the other species. They did more than integrate, Vexthor corrected. They elevated the entire team. Each species contributed their natural advantages. The humans provided determination and adaptability that kept everyone moving forward when the mission got difficult. 6 months ago, we were debating whether to send the humans home. Another official noted. Now I am watching them lead mixed species units. The humans needed refinement, not rejection, Kelthvar said from his position at the controls. They needed to learn when to push and when to adapt, when to use strength and when to use strategy. They learned quickly because that is what Deathworlders do. They adapt. The Serix general studied the team below as they celebrated their success. They are not like our traditional cadets. They are more aggressive, more willing to take risks, more stubborn about refusing defeat. Yes, Vexthor agreed. And that is exactly what the galaxy needs. We have had peace for generations. Our military has